Hello everybody, it's Jackie from Myra Stitch and Post coming to you once again from my home sewing studio. And first off, I have to say how overwhelmed I am with the response that we are getting to our Mystery Quilt. I think the last time I checked we had about 120 people participating. So hats off to all of you, and I look forward to continuing and seeing your progress. So please don't be shy to post your progress on Facebook in our group so that everybody else can see what you've been working on. I also want to show you the progress that I have been making, and so I now have my 9-patch blocks all constructed, and I have them laid out here. Now once again, I am making the twin size, which requires 59 9-patch blocks. I actually have 60 here, so one of them won't make the cut, most likely one of these dark ones. But I also wanted to just let you know, because I was using fat quarters and I used 10 fat quarters, I had more than enough fabric to make my twin size quilt. And I just want to show you so that you all know, if you have lots, I have all of these left over from my strip pieces that I made, and what I hope to do is set them aside and use them in making a second quilt. This is what I have left over from my fat quarter bundles, and I actually have some 9-patch segments that I cut more than what I needed, so I'm going to just set those aside and make sure that I have enough to do my next quilt. Also, I want everybody to make sure, if you can, on our Facebook page, and there is a link in the YouTube video with a written out set of instructions with diagrams. And today I'm going to convert all of these to PDF files so that some of you may not have Word and can't print them off, but with PDFs you will be able to print them off. Okay, today we're going to cover off a little bit more cutting, and that is the cutting for our Y block unit that we're going to be making. We're also going to cover off the cutting of our Z block, and we're also going to cover off the cutting of the setting triangles and the corner triangles. So let's get started. So the fabric that I have selected, here is my background fabric, which is consistent with the background fabric that I have been using all along. And this beautiful dark teal fabric is going to be my Y block alternating fabric. It is also going to be my setting triangles, and it's going to be my corner triangles. I have pressed everything, and I've wrapped this on my 8.5 by 24 inch ruler, as you can see. And basically that helps for storage, and as I showed you in the earlier video, it also makes it very easy for me to work with a large amount of yardage. All right, so we're going to once again cover off power cutting to cut because I'm making a twin, my twin quilt will require 24 of my 2x with the fabric, which is 42 inches background fabric. Okay, I have my fabric laid out, and this stayed very straight from the last time we cut it. But if you find that your edge, your raw edge of your fabric is getting a little crooked, then go ahead. If you're right-handed rotary cutter, rotate your fabric around, put it on the right-hand side, and trim it up with your ruler. In my case here, I don't have to do that. So I'm now I need to cut 24 2-inch by 42 inch strips. So I've got my ruler. Because I have an 8.5 inch ruler, I'm going to start at the 8-inch measurement mark. I'm going to lay my ruler down, making sure that it's nice and straight. And I'm going to take my rotary cutter, make my first cut. Now I'm going to back that ruler off 2 inches, and I'm going to get Joanne just to get in nice and close so you can see how I backed it off 2 inches. So I'm now at the 6-inch, and I'm going to make another cut, and I'm going to back off one more time, another 2 inches, so I'm at 4 inches. And last time, and this will give me 4 strips out of the 24 that I need. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to continue doing that, and then when I'm ready, I'll come back and we'll cover off cutting my teal fabric. All right, I've got all my background strips cut out. They're here. These are 24 of them. And I now have my teal fabric, which is my Y block alternating fabric. I have that on the table. And I just want to give everybody just a little heads up on something. I know a lot of you are using the OmniGrid rulers or rulers that have an extra ½ inch on them. And unfortunately, in this world of quilting, it's designed for right-handed people. And I know we have a lot of lefties out there. And so what I get my left-handed customers to do, where it says OmniGrid here or OmniGrip, that is the top of the ruler for a right-handed rotary cutter. If you are a lefty, then what I get you to do is turn your ruler upside down and with a Sharpie, write the word top at the bottom of your ruler. If you do that, that will avoid that extra ½ inch really messing around with your head. Just a little tip that I find works really well for my left-handed quilters. I need to square this up because I have not done that yet. So I've basically got my ruler, and I'm going to line up one of the lines on my ruler with the folded edge of my fabric. And you just want to take a little quick peek to make sure that you've got both the front and the back. And I do. I'm looking really good. And I'm going to make a cut. Y'all notice how I'm moving my hand up the ruler as I cut? That avoids some of this twisting that happens to the rulers. Okay? Now that I've got that done, it's time to very, very carefully rotate my fabric. And I need 12 2 by width of fabric strips. So I'm once again going to use my power cutting. And I think everybody's getting the gist of it. So let me get my 12 strips cut and we'll be right back. I'm all finished with my cutting. And what I've done is I've taken my background strips, my 24 background strips, and I've divided them into 2 piles of 12. I have my 12 alternating color strips, and I have my 12. So now it is time for me to take this to my sewing machine, and I'm going to start sewing my strip sets together. So we're going to get set up over at the sewing machine, and we're going to cover off that sewing one more time. We're also going to cover off the pressing technique, and then I will come back and we're going to cover off the cutting of the 14-inch squares and our 5-inch Z block. Okay, let's get started.